is the prosecution. They are suing Adnar.
Oh, shut up, Fly. I have sharp objects.
Please do not threaten members of the courtroom. So is someone recording or no?
I don't trust my computer to blow up if I do, so I don't think I can.
Oh, Alexandra is recording. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I did not think I would have to actually organize the trial as well. So, I think the court is opened. We are having a court case for the International Court of Justice between the United Nations Office of Environmental Protection, here represented by Jamie, its officer, and the Communist Empire of Adnar, here represented by Adnagaporp, the supreme leader. This case is on the destruction of the Pale Gardens in Adnar, the so-called special military operation, which has resulted in the destruction of both of the Pale Gardens in Africa. I will ask the prosecution to state their arguments.
Okay, well, this should be simple, open, and shut. The Empire had... It was 2, correct? 2 Pale Forests? They had 2 Pale Forests within their territory. And it did nothing to Adnaga. Just existed. And the Supreme Leader immediately saw it as the threat or something. I still can't wrap my head around it even after all these months later. And without any second thoughts, annihilated all of the Pale biome within his territory. Trees, moss, you name it, all gone. And why? Adnar has only ever come up with flimsy arguments that never hold water.
Okay, the defense may state their arguments against the prosecution and then offer their case. I think Adnar's going to type, so... If someone else is able to record, can they please do so without their computer exploding so that Alexandra isn't the only one?
Give me a second.
Yeah, I can
I'm
record.
supposed... Oh, if someone else can do it? Okay, that'll be great. I'm supposed to be doing something else, but I would do it if no one else could. You got this,
Okay.
Infy?
Yeah, let me just...
These thoughts were involved, yes.
Let me just start up OBS here, and...
So...
Good luck with OBS.
The defense states that there were, in fact, second thoughts, that thoughts about deforesting occurred long before unspecified time. Can you please specify long before what? Okay. Adnar is holding a food item to indicate when they are typing. Only after Adnar was discovered. Let's see. Still holding the food item, so I assume still typing. Okay, the item has been removed. So is the defense okay? The defense
All
has
right.
argued their case that the Pale Garden was making the citizens of Adnar sick. Is the argument for its destruction? Does the prosecution want to answer that?
Well, then I only have one question to ask to Adnar. If this was such an issue, why not bring it up? Why not bring it up sooner? Or better yet, why not seek alternate options rather than just deforesting every square inch of Pale Garden? Surely there could have been another way to sort this out rather than just violently destroying all of it.
The defense may argue their case. Yep. Adnar cannot be moved. Still typing. The witness may only speak if called by one of the parties. I do not actually know. I mean, Adnar has, I believe, Adnar has invited you as the witness to speak. So, if the defense wishes to invite its witness, then they may do so. Okay, so the argument is that Adnar could not be moved and neither can trees, therefore total destruction was necessary. The prosecution can call upon any witness, yes, if they so desire.
I would like to first respond to the defense's claims, and then I'd like to call upon Apollyon down to state what they wanted to say.
Go ahead.
All I have to say that is, if it was making people sick, I'm sure that the international community would have understood. But there was no explanation, no real warning given. It was all like a blitzkrieg. Apollyon, you said you had something you wanted to say. Would you like to come say it?
Okay, Apollyon will also be typing. Apollyon, please come down to the stage of the defense, or the prosecution rather than being in the scribe box. Oh, actually, this is a witness podium, never mind, you can stay there. Sorry. Yeah, I cannot read Martinoa, this is known.
I mean, this is probably like, isn't this like the first case that's been held here?
This is the second case, but I was not here for the first, so...
Well, first time for everything. There's bound to be some hiccups. Okay, second time for everything. Whatever. Point is, it's not a big deal.
Territory of Adnar is big enough to build outside of the Pale Gardens. Okay. Okay. Points being made are to the defense, not to random people on the stage. You can interject after the witnesses finish their point. The defense may argue their case. Oh yeah. Anna, please continue to hold food items if you are speaking. There's no reason for the Pale to be in Adnar's capital either. Has the defense finished their statement? In that case, the prosecution may speak, and they may choose to let Apollyon speak again.
The Pale didn't have to be in the capital. That's definitely one of the arguments of all time. I see this more as incompetence on the behalf of the supreme leader. There's many examples in history of governments moving their capitals due to varying reasons, including but not limited to the surrounding landscape. And if it was affecting the people so harshly as you claim it was, and I don't doubt that those claims may be true, but if it was affecting the people as badly as you claim it was, why resort to violence? Why not seek a peaceful alternative? Polyon, you want to speak?
The witness may speak. As the Apollyon, is that what all you wanted to say? Okay, the prosecution and the witness are arguing for different means of action. Does the defendant wish to reply to this? Can you call for Big Amogus to be a witness if you are relying on his word?
When an opportunity arises, I have a question for the defense.
You may do so once the defense has argued their point. There are no civilians in Longson Cavern. I see. Thank you. There are no civilians. Nobody lives in the capital except for Adnar. Okay. Can you reconcile the statement with the fact that your citizens are being poisoned by Pale? Yes, but I want you to argue. Okay. So if I am correct, your reasoning is that the Pale had to be removed because it was poisoning citizens. But there are no citizens that live there because the Pale is poisoning them. Am I correct? From the defense or a clarification?
Is he holding food?
No. Oh, they are. It's just in the fucking rotating skin, I swear to God. Okay.
How do you use free cam?
Yeah, I know, but their hands were in the opposite direction. I was looking wrong. Adnar still typing. While the defendant states their case, can the prosecution please pull up the UN law and specify which law they judge to be violated here?
Yes, give me 1 second, please, to find the.
I think we can ignore that. I don't think there's any other reasonable law that could be expressed.
Well, unfortunately, I can't charge him with violating moral laws, but
Adnar, do you have anything else to say still? Okay.
I'm seeking.
I see. Thank you for clarifying. Adnar is still typing.
I figured out. I now have the law that I'm charging Adnar with.
That's good. I'm just going to wait for Adnar to make their point before you.
That's fine.
I probably should have started with that, but Yeah, but I thought there would be a judge, and I didn't realize that would
I
be
don't.
basically
No,
me.
no offense, Lambda. I don't think any of. I don't know if half of us came prepared for this.
We've been trying to limit the contact payout to the people before, but that's just not good enough. Yeah, there should be a judge.
There really should be a judge. Yeah, we should probably appoint someone to be a judge for the International Court of Justice.
I mean, at least someone who is overseeing what happens in the court. N3 is standing on the scribe platform. They're scribe as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if N3 wants to take over the court organizing duties, that is okay by me. The rest of the jury and the parties have to agree to that, though.
I would also agree to it if N3 would like to, and of course if the remaining jury and the parties would.
That's fine with me.
And we need approval from Adna as well. But I think Adna is typing something else. So
Actually, the apparently the idealist has just Hillia, the idealist just responded to your ping from about half an hour ago.
oh, where is it? I forgot.
In the thread.
Yeah, in the
The,
scheduling thread.
Yeah.
Our people are allergic to pale and creakings violently touch this. Okay, Adna, can you please do or do not give your permission for N3 to organize this rather than me? Basically. That's what it amounts to. Okay. N3, you may speak. Please unmute yourself. Yeah. So can you hear anything or?
Oh boy.
No. Can you still hear? I assume that's a no. So okay. Yeah, okay. So then if N3 cannot hear me, then that's probably not good for the board. So I will continue in that case. Hmm. Okay, so the defense has made their points. The prosecution want to argue on these points. Sorry, you can be called as a witness if that's.
All right, but first I would like to specify this law that Adnar is being charged with violating. If that is okay.
Go ahead.
I am charging Adnar with violating 13.2. Or, for those who don't know what 13.2 is, on the preservation of natural resources that could be saved by the use of reasonable renewable methods. And there's a witness who witnessed the crime. I'd like to call down Astario, or as their in-game name states, the Spiffing Canva.
The witness may come onto the witness podium. Yes. If you are speaking in text, please hold a food item while typing. If you are speaking in VC, you do not need to.
I will speak through voice chat.
Okay. Can you explain to us what you witnessed in Adnar?
I witnessed the complete destruction of a pale garden, and which was done to procure pale oak logs and saplings that were then traded away by Adnar, which, those being renewable resources, would be able to be procured without destroying the entire garden.
Okay. Yes, Apollyon, you will get to comment, but I first want to hear Adna say whether he disputes the statement of the witness. No, we need an uneven number of jury members, otherwise we might not have a conclusion.
Yeah, the trial ends in deadlock, is that right?
Okay, Adna is replying. Adnar isn't destroying the pale garden for the item itself. We already have multiple public narco fine. So, can the prosecution state whether they consider the law to require intent? Intent
I don't
to
believe the law requires
item?
intent necessarily, because the point of the matter is whether intentional or not, whether the destruction was intentional or a side effect, it was still complete and total destruction. We don't make.
I am asking not whether intentionality is required. I'm asking whether the intention of the destruction has to be to gather resources or not.
Oh. Sorry about that.
Because Adnar is arguing that their intention was not that.
Well, I still believe that it doesn't. I don't believe their intention, their intention probably wasn't to gather resources necessarily. Their intention was probably to annihilate all the pale within their territory. But I still believe that even without intentionally doing it, they still violated the law at hand.
You consider the law not to require the gathering of resources as the reason for the destruction, is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Apollyon's been waiting for a while. And,
Oh, did you want to speak, Apollyon?
okay,
I'd like to call
Apollyon
Apollyon
can
back to
make
the stand then.
their refutations. I will. Yeah, can someone pull up the link to the law? Meet 5 bad points. Please refrain from slandering any parties.
Come on, let's be civil around here.
Law 13.2 on the preservation of natural resources that could be saved by the use of renewable methods. Yes. For the people that are unclear as to which law it's referring to, I will post the full law in the chat. Since Big Mogus was at the time the other member of the government and we are suing the communist Empire of Adnar, that is still negligence from the government. Adnar may object to this point. You may object.
Nope. Apollyon, you can have the objection.
Okay. Okay. Before the defense can comment, I will comment on the Yuan law here provided. I will read the full text. 13.2 on the preservation of natural resources that could be saved by the use of reasonable renewable methods. The collection of resources that are renewable by reasonable methods shall not be done in mass from the wilderness. Instead, one shall use renewable methods to acquire it. The collection of resources not renewable by reasonable methods may happen, but the one collecting shall make sure to not leave the terrain too disformed. This motion does not apply to the Nether. This motion quite specifically states that this concerns resources in wilderness, and I have confirmation from the witness in Adnar, Astariu, that the Pale Gardens were in fact within the borders of Adnar.
They were, yes.
Okay, therefore I consider this law to not apply to this case. Does the prosecution object?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. And the prosecution, please offer a Yuan law that has been broken by the actions of the Communist Empire of Adnar.
At this time, I cannot find a suitable law.
Okay. Well, I know that there's no technical law that requires Yuan law to be violated in order for the ICNJ to rule on it, but I feel like that's pretty obvious. I don't think that we can argue on laws which do not exist. Since this is an extraordinary matter, I can allow people to comment on this. What do they think? But
About
the ICNJ ruling on laws that don't exist, are not part of Yuan law.
I Starry, can you mute your microphone, please? The Discord pings are coming through. I don't have any comments at this time, unfortunately.
Adnar is not a Yuan member, so Yuan laws don't apply to Adnar. However, since Adnar still agreed to be sued, I'd argue Yuan law doesn't matter here. /J if it hurts the prosecution. But how are we supposed to argue on a law that doesn't exist?
I suppose that this is a matter that probably should be brought up before the United
After you
Nations.
may ask your question. Yes, I don't know.
My question is, I mean, obviously there are like codified laws, but is it purely civil in that rulings are based off of codification of laws, or is it like or are there elements of common law where rulings can set the judicial precedents?
Good question. I will have to look that up.
Food for thought.
That's a good question, actually.
International Court of Justice. CJ. A possible condemnation by the ICMJ. International Court. Okay, I will read the motion that is of the establishment of the International Court of Justice. If the scenario of going against international law is given, the International Court of Justice has the right to judge the situation given the additional laws about judgment, and in the case of wrongdoing, to punish the defendant. If someone wishes to bring a situation to the court has the right to judge over it. Every time the court is operating, we need 3 jury members. The jury must not be involved in the case. Conflict of interest, the jury has to be appointed. And the defendant has to be able to defend themselves. So all it says is that we're going against international law.
Yeah, that's the wrong one. It has been redefined in 24 point whatever. I don't remember the number.
24?
Yeah.
My apologies. On a reform of the ICNJ. I will have a look at past meetings, meeting 24, okay. An International Court of Justice is established to rule on cases of interpretation of UN law and on violations of UN law. Okay. So, if the prosecution is unable to state a UN law, God. I have no idea what to do.
Does that mean we throw the case out if there's
I suspect so, because there is no UN law that can be pointed to violate this.
If there's no UN law in place, if you were using if you were losing common law elements, you judge fairly based on perceived that's when it gets tricky.
There's only been one case ever.
If the jury thinks there's wrongdoing, they should prosecute, and that itself sets the precedent.
Okay. I think this means that the jury has to decide whether or not we can pursue this case based on common law or not. Because I don't see any other option. If the case cannot be pursued on common law, then this is dismissed. First we have to decide if Sly or the
I have one
idealist.
question.
Yes.
Is it possible for the court to call for a revision of Law 13.2 in exchange?
Not in
for-
the court. That would have to be done in the United Nations meeting.
All right.
And I don't think Adnar can be sued for motions that did not exist or were not written in such a manner when the actions were performed. Yeah, okay. So as jury members, the three of us have to decide whether we are going to pursue this case on common law or whether we can only rule on the written Yuan laws. I'm thinking, do we need a separate voice channel real quick to discuss that with the three of us?
I think that would be.
You could use Minecraft Reloaded, maybe.
Yeah, I don't
Reload
think
it?
Sly can talk, but they can talk in the voice channel. Or we can
Oh.
talk in the thread, I suppose. I need to ping Sly in there. At Sly.
Would
Okay.
you like me to leave the thread temporarily while you do this?
You can just mute it, it doesn't really matter.
Well, I didn't know if I had to be absent from it.
It's fine, this is exceptional circumstance. The jury is discussing. Arnifnov, can you talk in the thread as well?
Yes, I am already. I'm already
Okay.
there.